Have you ever realized that while everyone turns to you for strength, you have nowhere to turn yourself? In this episode, we're going to look into the mirror of the silent provider, the psychology of those who carry the weight of the world without making a sound. Now, this type of person I think we all know, but maybe don't fully get. The silent provider. The person who just seems to handle absolutely everything and never ever complains. We all have someone like this in our lives, right? It could be a parent, a friend, maybe a co-worker, or you. Just take on the world and don't seem to flinch. So what's going on under that calm exterior? You know, the duck on the water. We're sure that they're pedaling underneath. They can be navigating insane amounts of stress, juggling a million responsibilities, but on the outside, total control. They are the absolute last person to ask for help, but they're always the first to offer it. It's incredible. But it can also be kind of mystifying. I mean, what are they, trained Stoics? Are they distant? Are they not trusting enough? Do they not trust me enough to overshare? We often see this quiet strength and could mistake it for something else. Maybe we think they're being unfeeling or a little distant, lacking empathy even. But no, it turns out that this silence, it's actually a sign of some really profound wisdom and deep resilience. The common view is that these folks are stoic, Aurelius. You know, maybe even bottling things up. But the hidden reality is much more complex and, I'd say, impressive. The quiet strength isn't like a personality trait. It's a form of resilience. It's a kind of wisdom that's been created in a past of fiery instability. So how did someone, how did you end up with this kind of resilience? Well, we can all watch videos on detachment and managing emotion and Stoicism, but what creates that as a natural innate trait? But it seems to come from two very different places. And let's start with the first archetype we're going to call the 70s soul. Now, it's closely linked to Nietzsche's Amor, Fati, the love of fate. So this is a personality type that was basically built from the ground up on the idea of self-reliance is the core operating system. Just imagine being raised with this fundamental lesson. When I get into trouble, when I need a rescue, I am my own first responder. Help isn't on the way from somewhere else. No, the help was you. And this mindset was often built by being raised by a generation that went through some real hardship, some real sacrifice. So they were taught that self-reliance isn't just a good idea. It's the number one virtue. And then complaining, well, that's just a waste of time and energy. So when a problem pops up, their internal monologue, the first thing isn't, okay, who can I call for help? It's, okay, what do I need to do to fix this? Now let's look at the second archetype of the silent provider, which gets us to a similar place as the 70s soul, but from a totally different direction. The survivor. This is a person who is always perpetually in crisis mode. The forever fighting fires. For the survivor, life just feels like one big long string of emergencies. They're constantly jumping from one crisis to the next, putting out fire after fire after fire. This forces them into a permanent state of survival mode, a high state alert that's only focused on immediate threats. And the result of that, there is literally no mental bandwidth left over to process anything, to reflect on it, or to complain about it. See, the survivor's silence is a direct result of their environment. It's been shaped by their whole history of instability. They have to be laser focused on the present moment, on just getting through the day. And when you're in that headspace, complaining just feels like a luxury you can't afford. What's really fascinating is their perception of time can get blurry. So past crises can feel just as real and urgent as if they're happening right now. And equally, like the 70s soul, whose first monologue isn't, "Who can I call for help?" It's, "What do I need to do to fix this?" The same for the survivor. But the survivor might more lean on internal meditation, things to bring back some reality to the present moment. But the result on the outside to others is the same. So whether we're talking about the learned self-reliance of the 70s soul or the constant crisis mode of the survivor, we can come to the same conclusion. That this quiet strength they have isn't a personality flaw. They're not cut off from the world or you. The next time we see that person, the one carrying the heavy load without saying a word, what we can remember is their silence is not an absence of feeling. It's not that they don't feel pain or struggle. It's quite the opposite. That silence is a powerful living proof of everything they've already survived. To see somebody, to know somebody like this in their life, and the silence is actually their way of saying, I can handle a lot because I have handled a lot. This leads us to this final thought. It's one thing to look at other people now with this new understanding, this new empathy, because what happens when we turn that lens on ourselves? What silent strength, what quiet resilience do you carry from your past?